Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Shri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally, and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is put on YouTube and the various groups from around the world subsequently. Today, my topic within the parameters of oneness is the celebration of Gita Jayanti, which started yesterday and it can be continued to be celebrated throughout this week. So Gita means the song of the Lord, and Jayanti means the birth. Then we need to unpack why the Bhagavad Gita was only spoken 5,000 years ago when this universe is in existence for 155 trillion years. And in all my discourses, I always proclaim the Supreme Lord as the absolute scientist and Sanatan Dharma as the absolute science. Which means man, whose uniqueness is his intellect, need to use this intellect in a common sensical fashion and find truths within the scriptures of Sanatan Dharma. When man's mind, which is an attribute of the Supreme Lord Himself, is thus placed, then man can live with ease within this material body on this planet Earth. So I need to provide evidence, not from myself, but from the Supreme Lord Himself. But before going to our topic in the main, I want you to use your intellect here at this satsang and those that are following me from around the world. So, since 2017, I have been the first guru in the world to name and shame his own devotees. I have been the first guru in the world to publicly name and shame his own devotees. Normally you will get in ashrams, gurus will silence the happenings within their ashrams and keep everything under the carpet. And when the guru dies, the ashram implodes. Go and see this fashion. It has happened all over. You'll find a couple 100 million in the bank account and all the devotees fighting for those millions. It has happened with all the big name ashrams from around the world, including my own Guru's ashram, Sri Siddhartha Ashram in India. As soon as the Guru dies, then all that was hushed and pushed and put under the carpet find a way of releasing itself. Let me just confirm through the Bhagavad Gita. So when God speaks, I want you to understand the science behind God and the material universes. The material universes is vibrating through the frequency of material consciousness. And the Supreme Lord is vibrating through the frequency of Suddha Sattva, absolutely pure consciousness. Material consciousness has a date of birth and death. Suddha Sattva consciousness is eternal. Something that is eternal remains activated in its status quo perpetually. Understand this aspect that I'm unpacking. Something that is spiritual retains its status quo in the same frame perpetually. It means it is alive in eternality. It is alive in eternality. Whether it is in print form, whether it is in sound form, whether it is in a murti form, whatever form that is spiritual, it will retain its spirituality. Spirituality cannot be diminished. Spirituality cannot be transformed. Spirituality is the total absolute state of consciousness. Which means if that consciousness is transmuted into a word and imprinted in a book, it is still alive. God and His word cannot be changed. God and His word cannot be changed. His word exists in Him and He exists in His word. You cannot interchange or separate God from His word. And when His word is transferred in print, in sound it will be in the forms of mantra, in the forms of song. And in word, in print, it will be in these books that I'm reading from, or in the print media, in the cyber world. God also lives in the cyber world. Acharya Shyam Ramanuj is activating God in the cyber world. Alright? So when I was first introduced to the cyber world, it was inundated with pornography. It was inundated with pornography. 10% was clean, 90% was pornography. Even on Facebook, there was pornography. And I remember my elder son Sean, he said, "Daddy, I warned you not to go into Facebook." Because when I did a post on Facebook, somebody linked me. And I was new in technology. So when I pressed the link, I went into the world of filth. World of filth. World of Karou Charou. The cyber world of Karou Charou. Tanasegran Mudli. I went into that filthy world. Then I told my son that one day there will be no pornography in the cyber world. Today, go and press pornography on Google, go and press pornography on Facebook, you're not going to find it. Years ago, if you wrote pornography on Google, they'll ask you photographs or videos. They will ask you photographs or videos. Today, no response. Similarly, I've entered the cyber world to remove Thanasegran, Mudli, KC, Karou Charou, Khalifa, some Khalifa, and now Anand Naidu. So this is my job, and if I could move an entire industry that was running pornography and earning millions in the cyber world, you think this small nipper, this man who cannot expose his own face, you think I can't remove him, who ducks behind fake profiles? He is so afraid and timid of this world, he ducks behind fake profiles. You think I can't remove him? You think anyone? But I want to get back. I want to get back to this understanding, and I want to read from the Bhagavad Gita, and I want to intertwine the Bhagavad Gita with the Sri Narayan Dham and the discourses that I give. I am a unique guru. I am a trend-setting guru. And currently, I am well placed in the world in terms of Sanatan Dharma. I am well placed in the Western world in terms of Sanatan Dharma. So I want to explain that I'm not going to be your ordinary conservative guru. I'm not going to touch your head. I'm not going to keel over for any human being on this earth. This guru will never keel over. This guru has no shame. No shame. This is a shameless guru. This guru will use his platform to discuss filth if filth has to be the topic. And this guru is only following the Supreme Lord. This guru is only following the Supreme Lord. I am within the parameters of the Bhagavad Gita to bring Karou Charou into my arena and tear him to bits. I am within the parameters of the Bhagavad Gita to do so. You have a right to come to my satsang or not come to my satsang. Listen to my discourses or not listen to my discourses. I am here to make a dynamic change. I am here to make a dynamic change. I am not here to harvest good behavior in a few hundred people and forget about the world. I am not here to harvest discipline in a few hundred or thousand people and close my eyes to the rest of the world. I am here to open my eyes to the rest of the world and with equal dynamism assist you that are here with me today and also assist the world outside. I cannot close my eyes to the world outside and only take care of you within and keep the name of this ashram in absolute purity. I cannot do that. I won't be doing my job. I won't be doing my job. All of you understand? But this instruction must come from where? From the Supreme Lord Himself. So I want to read a few verses from the Bhagavad Gita of Sri Ramanuja Gita Bhashya. Sri Ramanuja Gita Bhashya, and chapter 4, verse 1. Chapter 4, verse 1, the Lord said, I taught this imperishable yoga to Visvasan, semicolon. Visvasan taught it to Manu, semicolon. Manu declared it to Ikshvaku. Verse 2, thus handed down in succession, comma, the royal sages knew this yoga, full stop. But with the long lapse of time, O Arjuna, that yoga was lost to the world. That yoga was lost to the world. Who lost this yoga to the world? How this yoga means union. How did this union with the Supreme Lord, would the Supreme Lord get lost to the world? As I explained in the introduction, God's word is spiritual. Spirituality means that it is eternal. It can't be reduced, it can't be increased. It remains in its total potency all the time. It remains in its absolute potency all the time. God's word is God Himself. You cannot differentiate God's word from God. You cannot differentiate God's message from God Himself. Are you understanding this? Then how can this message get lost? How can this message get lost? And let's see the formula of the message. What is the formula of this message? How must this message be relayed to mankind? This message, this Bhagavad Gita, how must it be relayed to mankind? Through what system must this message be relayed to mankind? The Guru system. So the Supreme Lord is establishing the absoluteness of the Guru system. The Guru is absolute for your union with God. That means no Guru, no God. No Guru, no God. So if the Gurus of yore, if they did not take the injunctions of the Bhagavad Gita, which were there already, and did not activate it as I am activating it today, as I am activating it since 2017, when the first demons attacked this ashram, when the first demons attacked this ashram in 2017, if I did not retrieve the injunctions which is already prevalent in the universe, it's there already, then would my Bhagavad Gita have come alive? And then what would have happened to this science? What would have happened to the science of the Bhagavad Gita? It would be there, not lost in the sense of it losing its potency, but lost in the sense that it is not kept active by gurus. By gurus. So many gurus currently in the world are assisting in the Bhagavad Gita getting lost. Are assisting in the Bhagavad Gita getting lost because they are more concerned about their image and the image of the ashram in public. They are more concerned about their image and the image of the ashram in public because there is an ill-formed perception out there that ashramites are pure, absolutely pure and divine people. I am running and I've had thousands of people run through me since I started in 2013. I haven't found pure people yet. And I don't even classify myself as pure. Because as long as you are in the human body, as long as you have a human body, mistakes can happen. Yes or no? Because the human body has capacity to make mistakes. The only guarantee that I can give you about myself is that my knowledge is absolute. And the knowledge that I give you is absolute. Other than that, I have many deficiencies as a human being. Okay? So I'll give you an example. When I go to work with my children in the bush, there's no toilet facilities around. So I will use the first tree. But then when you look at a guru, you want the guru to be absolutely pure. But I have a human body which has its own dictation. I cannot dictate the movements of my bowels. I cannot dictate if I have a running stomach in the bush. Can I dictate it? Do you expect a guru to relieve himself in the bush? No, a guru must be absolutely pure. He must have pipes fixed in his body and a tank that he must carry all over. You understand? But this guru don't have that. This guru is wearing an ordinary human body. So there's no absoluteness in the body of this guru, this gross body. But the guru's mind has been purified. The guru's mind has been spiritually sanitized. The guru's intellect have been spiritually sanitized. The guru's soul is vibrating in its absolute sense. But the guru is wearing a body that stores filth in the stomach. just like anyone else. That filth that is stored in your small intestines, your large intestines, and that feces that is excreted, that food that you eat and that food that the Guru eat, the result is the same. The feces is the same. It is the same. So this is the status quo of a Guru. He is transformed spiritually inside. In his mind, intellect, no ego, the causal body is spiritualized, and the soul, the absolute soul, the Atma force is radiating and from the body of the Guru 24/7. Nobody can stop that. But this gross body is the same. Is the same. The functions are the same. If I drink water, it have to be converted to urine. It won't come out as gold. It won't come out as milk. It will only come out as urine. You understand? So we need to, in a real sense, understand the Guru and the Guru principle. So the Guru is not ashamed. Guru is not ashamed to reveal his external deficiencies of the gross body and his gross ashram and his gross devotees. There should be no shame in a Guru. No shame, because the Guru's job is to speak the absolute truth. Okay? So let's get to the Bhagavad Gita. This is Gita Jayanti that we are celebrating. Verse 3, it is the same ancient yoga which is now taught to you by me, as you are my devotee and friend, full stop, for this is a supreme mystery. For this is a supreme mystery. And you are my devotee and you are my friend. So you can only teach this yoga to who? And friend. This yoga cannot be taught to a non-devotee or an enemy. Opposite of devotee? Non-devotee. Opposite of friend? Enemy. So many enemies come in this satsang and they can't learn this supreme mystery. This talk of the Bhagavad Gita is a supreme mystery. This mystery can only be unraveled to a devotee or friend. So this is Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, for every 10 people that enter this ashram, how many will be devotees and friends? Sometimes less than one. Sometimes less than one. You understand? So I am not failing when I have few devotees. But the demonic will see few devotees of a Guru as a failure. But the Supreme Lord Himself is stating, and this is why you can see that Thanasegran Mudli could not facilitate in this teachings or attempt to facilitate in these teachings because he had not accepted the Guru principle. And if you further look at his own at his own evidence, he has stated that he is greater than a lawyer, he is greater than a magistrate, he is greater than policemen, he is greater than reporters, he is greater than all these stalwart politicians that brought this country to where it is today. Now he is stating that he is going to teach the Guru how to be human. You understand? Thanasegran Mudli. I unmasked him, so I'll be using his unmasked pictures, all of you can see. Look at those eyes. There's a song about eyes. Somebody sang, there's an English song about eyes, isn't it? I got many technicians here. Amita, please find that song and play it in the background. Alright? One of these famous singers, I remember something about the eyes. The tune is running in my head. Let's hope those eyes get straightened whilst the song is playing in the Hungry Eyes. Alright. I want the song in the background of every post. Okay? So I'm saying this word, love. I'm saying this word, love. A guru is full of love and compassion. That is what the Guru's consciousness is. It has nothing else. If it had anything else, then the Sri Narayan Dham won't be positioned where it is positioned in the world today. Where it is positioned in the world today. Alright? Let's see what the Lord has to say further. Chapter 4, verse 7. Whenever there is a decline of Dharma, O Arjuna, and the uprising of Adharma, then I incarnate myself. What Lord Shri Krishna is stating? Whenever there is unrighteousness, then I incarnate myself. Unrighteousness where? In every facet of the world, including the ashram, and we in the 21st century now, including the cyber world. So my job as a guru today, Nirali, is to enter the cyber world and remove our dharma. Tanasegran Mudli. My job is to enter the cyber world and remove Tanasegran Mudli permanently from there. Permanently from there. That is my job. Where I am taking my cue from? Where am I taking my instructions from? Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 7. The Supreme Lord incarnates in set times. Supreme Lord incarnates in set times. When He incarnates, there is always a war between the Devis and Devtas and the Asuras. Physical, practical war between Devi and Devtas and Asuras. When the Guru incarnates, same Guru, same set of Gurus, when they incarnate, there is a war between humans war between humans who are infiltrated by asuras. So it is the job of the Guru to annihilate the asuras within the human being. Guru's job is not to annihilate the human being. Although sometimes I wish God gave me that authority, just knock on your door there, on the bluff, open, Beretta 16 rounds, and walk away. But God has taken that license away from me. I had this license a few years ago. But now God has given me compassion and love. He replaced my Beretta with compassion and love. Alright? So I'm using compassion and love to annihilate the asuras. Mia Khalifa, there's about 30 asuras living inside Thanasegrin Mudli. About 30 asuras are living in him. They all have one profile. So I'm using love, compassion, and the forensic police. The forensic police to uncover that 30 profiles. Look at how much love and compassion I have. I am giving him a heads up. We are on to him. This world of technology is one step ahead of Mia Khalifa. Alright? So let's continue with the Bhagavad Gita and why I am doing what I am doing and why the world must follow suit. So I saw some big institutions are now, after watching me intently for the past many years, they are also naming and shaming their disciples and their gurus as well, which is what the Bhagavad Gita encourages. When Lord Sri Krishna instructed the Pandavas, he told them, don't be cowards. Be courageous and go and fight our dharma. Be courageous and go and fight unrighteousness. But many commentators of the Bhagavad Gita has changed that instruction into the Bhagavad Gita being a passive instruction. There is no passive instruction in the Bhagavad Gita. No passive instruction in the Bhagavad Gita. Similar to the Quran. Prophet Muhammad was instructed by Allah to go and kill those miscreants. Kill those miscreants that were not following Prophet Muhammad, that had become enemies of Islam. And he said, after the 30 days or after the fast is over, go and kill them. God does this from time to time. You have to kill the enemy. So you must always look at the enemy as the enemy in your own body. If you have cancer, is cancer your friend or is cancer your enemy? Friend or enemy? And what you have to do with cancer? Or what will cancer do to you? So do you see Thanasegran Mudli as cancer in the cyber world? Do you see him? Do you see him as igniting hatred between blacks and Indians? Is there evidence by himself that he is inciting racial intolerance between the black majority and the Indian minority? Is that not cancerous? Do you see the Guru reaching out to the black majority? Do you see the Guru with all his love and compassion embracing all different racial groups? Which is Dharma and which is our Dharma? Who is performing our Dharma in this Kurukshetra, and who is endorsing Dharma? Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it? Is this necessary? Is this information necessary in the public domain? Is this necessary in the public domain? Is the Guru's job to pat divine people on the back and tell you how divine you are and send it on social media? Will it have any impact on you? Will it make any change in you? But if I take the filthiest of a Indian human and display him in social media and show you step by step how I am cutting him to size, will it have an impact on our society today? Both Indian society and South African society. And if, as I'm cutting him up to pieces, I'm using verses from the Bhagavad Gita, then what is happening to these verses in the Bhagavad Gita? Is it teaching humans its absolute relevance? Practically. Is it doing that? Is the Bhagavad Gita getting its rightful place in society? Am I planting the right seeds in the minds of humanity? Can I be ashamed as an ashram to discuss filth? Can I be ashamed to discuss filth? Are you understanding why it is relevant? Because God did the same. Who does this universe belong to? The Supreme Lord. When He incarnated as Narsingh, He took Hiranyakasipu on his lap. He embedded his fingernails in his stomach and he tore his stomach open so that his entrails fell out. Who did this? The Supreme Lord. Why can't I just pluck one eye and align it? Who's worse? Which scenario is worse? Your entrails lying on the floor, or me just plucking one eye, pulling it out, and aligning it to your other eye? Then you can see the Guru. Then you can see the Guru, because one eye is looking there, the other eye is looking there, and you mistaken the wrath of the Guru. You are mistaking the wrath of the Guru. Guaranteed, Thanasegran Mudli is going to go to jail. Guaranteed, the prisoners in Westville are waiting for him. He belittled black people. He belittled policemen. He belittled warders. Now look, when you undermine society, the formal structures of society, he belittled journalists. He belittled his first cousin. He belittled his biological mother. He was a bully to his brother growing up. He's not a bully from today. He's a bully from his childhood. Today his brother is a spiritual being and he is Asura number 1 in the world. Asura number 1 in the world. All these entities and structures are waiting for Thanasegran. All these formal structures that he antagonized is waiting for Thanasegran Mudli. And the Guru's job is to provide a vehicle. To provide a vehicle and transport him from Bluff to Westville, from Westville to various court cases and back to Westville. Because I am telling you this openly. He touched me. And not from the Guru perspective. He touched Shami Singh. And I was well known and loved in this province all my life. I have people from all dimensions that have called me because this fiasco is on TikTok, it's on social media. You understand? And I said, let this process go legally. Let this process go legally. But once he enters court, the court have to detain him for his own safety. For his own safety. The court has to keep him there for his own safety. You understand, all of you? So this is the end of Thanasegran Mudli. I have posted many videos out there. And be like Khatija, don't just write there Jai Shriman Narayan. God don't want his name on the filth. Talk about that content. Disgusting, inhumane, un-Indian. In my lifetime, and I've dealt with the best of the best. I was a policeman for 10 years, Warwick Avenue. The best of the best came through me. The head of the generations, the head of the Dashins, the head of all the gangs came through these two hands. I never saw so much of filth in them that I'm seeing in this one human being. He is oozing with feces. He is oozing with feces. Every word of his. How he managed to elude the criminal justice system is a mystery. So I am doing nothing new. I'm facilitating all that is there in the open and I'm packaging it like how I package the Bhagavad Gita properly, coherently. Similarly, I am packaging all his transgressions to the various departments in a coherent manner. In a coherent manner. This will be my contribution in Sanatan Dharma. Nivs Daljit, Nivs Daljit, Melissa Daljit, Arifa Umar, Venita Premlal, the most authentic Pirohit of Sanatan Dharma. When I said I have screenshot all these names and I have a file on all these people and I will do one discourse for them each, I haven't seen them on Thanasekaran's show again. Thanasekaran is in direct contact with all these people. If they like and if they love Thanasekaran as much as they went on his show, please advise him what happened to you. And please don't lie to him, tell him where you are today and advise him. At least you would have done Sanatan Dharma a favor, because Thanasekaran is already decimated. Okay, so few more verses from the Bhagavad Gita. So this was my intention with Thanasekaran Mudli when I brought him to this ashram. Again, it is within the parameters of the absolute instructions of the Supreme Lord. I'm doing this so I don't want to have a lot of to and fro in court papers. When I was a director in a law firm and I was the investigator, I provided the evidence, and there was never a to and fro, because my own uniqueness is in giving the judge or the magistrate all the information that is required. I don't speak to lawyers and advocates. I don't. When I provide evidence, I don't provide evidence for lawyers, advocates and prosecutors. I provide evidence to the judge. So my evidence that I provide is when it goes through the judge, his mind is already made up. It depends who paints the best picture with the judge. 10 judges, 10 outcomes. Yes or no? Yeah. 10 judges, 10 outcomes. One person can get sentenced to 10 years, next one to 9 years, next one to 8 years. But when I present evidence, the judge would be looking to even find a law to exceed 10 years. Okay? So, this is how I'm presenting, because this is his alibi. His alibi is how I brought him first to the ashram. How and why I brought him first to the ashram, and then I blew smoke somewhere. All right? So I am killing his alibi even before it goes to court. Chapter 9, verse 30. Even the most sinful man worships me with undivided devotion, comma, he must be regarded as holy, for he has rightly resolved. Is this verse Straightforward and clear. Straightforward and clear. Not understanding? Understanding? I don't want to use your name. You understanding? Bhadrakali? Right? So I took this instruction from the Bhagavad Gita and I brought the most sinful man that is known currently in our domain, and I brought him to the ashram to sanitize him spiritually. To sanitize him spiritually, turn him from his current status into a divine status, and take that product of the transformation and deliver it to society. And deliver it to society. And then take him after that and make him into an astute leader. You see, all that is within the parameters of the Bhagavad Gita. Alright? And I want to read this next verse, and I want you to understand this next verse. Verse 31. Quickly he becomes righteous and obtains everlasting peace. Quickly he becomes righteous and obtains everlasting peace. Full stop. Affirm on my behalf, comma, O Arjuna, my devotee never perishes. Lord Shri Krishna is asking Arjuna to declare to the world that his devotee never perishes. Why is God not declaring by himself? Why is he asking Arjuna to declare on his behalf that his devotee never perishes? All the Kalis, all the Kalis. So Tanasagran has made a public statement that the ashram only has 10 devotees, of which 4 is his family. Tanasagran has made a declaration that he only has 10 devotees and 4 is his family. Again, evidence. As I said, we need evidence, and who provides the evidence most of the time? The murderer leaves his hair behind. Then we catch the murderer. Murderer left the evidence and he told the police, listen, I am the murderer. Alright? You understand? Again, I'm asking this question, very important. Why did Lord Shri Krishna say, declare to the world, my devotee never perishes? Why didn't he just declare it here? Lord Shri Krishna could have said, my devotee never perishes. Why did he ask Arjuna to declare it to the world? Because God is known to change his word from time to on behalf of the devotee. God can change his word, Nirali, on behalf of the devotee. But God will always make his devotee's word remain absolute. God will always make his devotee's word remain absolute. So when God's devotee is saying, Tanasagran is going to go to Reservoir, God will make sure his devotees' word remain absolute. And God can change his word, which might have said Thanasekaran won't be going to Westville, but now because his devotee has said Thanasekaran must go to Westville, and I want to explain to you how God will take him to Westville. God sits in the soul of every human being, it's in chapter 15, as if driving a machine. God sits in the soul of every human being as if driving it as a machine. So when God's devotee said Thanasekaran Mudli must be annihilated in the cyber world, who is a driver of Thanasekaran Mudli? Who is the driver of Thanasekaran Mudli? The Supreme Lord. When his devotee is declaring that he must be demolished, God is driving him to all his mistakes. Every day he's making 5 or 6 mistakes. On whose behalf is Thanasekaran Mudli making these mistakes? Remember, this saga has been going on for 2 years. He was sitting king of cyber world. He was sitting king of cyber world. As soon as he dreamt my toe, his world is disintegrating. Court cases that couldn't happen, happened. And again, I'm giving him a heads up. He opened 6 cases. 5 cases were withdrawn technically. He appeared on the 6th case. He is the complainant in the 6th case. What was his duty? When you open a case, when you open a case for an interdict against someone, it means your life has to be in danger. Yes or no? So if 6 people had combined and put your life in danger, then you will apply for 6 interdicts. Yes? But if 5 interdicts were technically withdrawn and you still got 1 interdict, what would you do with that 1 interdict? You'll make sure it is processed. So at least you have some reprieve with this one person whilst you are fixing what happened to the other 5. But if you go and make a deal with this one case, what it means? Your life is not in danger. It means you are manipulating the administration of the court. And who's saying this? He is saying this. He said on his show with his own mouth that he made a settlement with this person. So he's defeating the purpose of the administration of the court in that segment. He's playing around, and I'm going to smack him for that. I'm going to smack him for that, because I'll never allow anyone to mess up with the infrastructure of the South African pillars of society. What are the pillars, Mahakali? Legislature, judiciary. Judiciary is messing up with one of the pillars of this democracy, which I was part and parcel of since Standard 8. Since Standard 8. I was shamboked by the security branch. The shamboking was so painful that I ran over girls that were protesting with me. The pain was so bad, Khatija, that there were many girls on the floor. I ran over them. You think I'm going to allow this filthy sewage to seep into our pillar, one of our 4 pillars of the justice system? I'm going to smack him. I'm going to smack him. No justice department, wherever he lays a charge, I'm going to inform that justice system how he has manipulated the Chatsworth justice system. I'm going to make it hard for him. And who's my Uber driver? Lord Sriman Narayan himself. He'll continue driving this trash until this trash meets its end, because Lord Narayan has to keep his devotees' promise to the world that I'm making today, that Thanasegran Mudli will be driven by Lord Sriman Narayan out of the cyber world. Out of the cyber world. Just because it's Gita Jayanti, I want to complete whatever the Lord asks me to complete. Chapter 9, 34. Focus your mind on me, comma, be my devotee, comma, be my worshipper, full stop. Bow down to me, full stop. Engaging your mind in this manner and regarding me as the supreme goal, comma, you will come to me. And this is a guarantee. This is a guarantee. So I'm going to conclude by summing up, and all the ashrams and temples in South Africa and around the world, when you start following how I present discourses, there will be a dynamic change in the world. Don't keep things under your carpet. One day it will be exposed. Be like Acharya Shyam Ramanuj. Every day I expose. If anybody here, start in my first post if you got time. Start in my first post if you got time. You will see I revealed myself to the world before I started my preaching. Whatever negative I had and experienced and lived, it's already there on Facebook. I put it myself. I didn't ask one of my admins to do it. I put it myself. I exposed myself. So you can't find anything else to expose me. This ashram is in the same ward that I lived for 52 years. I lived here. My ashram is here. I'm not incognito. I'm in the real world. I'm with the real people that I lived with for the past 52 years. People's heads that are smashed here. I even took out a bush knife, asked Mataji. Right? And I made people run. But this is where my satsang is. Because I have nothing under the carpet. Anyone can walk in here and say, hey, Acharya Shyam Ramanuj, you and I had a bottle of whiskey in Aquarius. Then when the bottle was finished, you bust my head with it. How you became a guru? Yeah, it happened here. Mataji will tell you. She should wash blood out of my private car. She should wash blood out of my police car. I had a police car to keep at home. Mataji should wash Sunday mornings. Saturday nights was Shami Singh's nights. You understand? So this door can be open and anybody can come in any time because my ashram is where I lived for 52 years. There's nothing that can expose this guru. I went to India in my guru's ashram and I shook Guruji's son. I shook the mur out of him. And it's on Facebook. I made him take cover in his own ashram. Okay? So you think I'm going to let this sewage Tanasegran, Mudli, to touch one hair on my head? You think I'm going to allow it? So gurus should get militant. Why? And you'll notice all the postings I did on my own. No admin did my postings. I'm calling him out myself. There's not one posting he did from his own self. He's gone behind fake profiles. You understand? Yeah. And Khatija is not fake. Khatija is here today. Khatija is here today. Khatija is for real. Only asuras will cut themselves into fakes. And we have Kali Ma here. That is why I brought Kali Mata into my ashram. Because that asura that cut himself into fake parts, that's the blood that Kali Mata is drinking. Tanasegran, Yokia, what? Khalifa. And all your fake profiles, I brought Kali Ma for you. You can split yourself, but you'll never ever win with Kali Ma. And I'm telling you, Tanasegran, I have many Bhadra Kali devotees here. Many Bhadra Kali devotees in this ashram. There is no way out. Khatija is here. She said she is number one. All right? And we can also tell you, we also know who your private investigator is. We know everything about you, my boy. I'm just hoping later today you give us a call, come in with your son, set up your work here at the ashram, and only say that I am sorry and give us a guarantee, and in our presence remove yourself from all social media. remove yourself from all social media. Give my attorney a guarantee in writing that you'll never ever go in social media again. That is all we want from you. Guru is full of love and compassion, because the men in Westville are waiting for you. When you come out, you'll really come out incognito. Your gender will be changed. Jai Shriman Narayan.